y'all. I am Kenzie, and I want to help y'all learn languages and learn about the cultures all around the world. So today I am here to share 11 tips for learning languages with y'all. I am no expert at this. I am not a polyglot. I have not had decades of experience in this field, but what I have learned from my experience and my friends, I want to share it with you so you can better learn a language. And my first tip is that you cannot become fluent, you cannot really truly learn a language in a classroom. I know that sounds cliche, but no, a classroom is not what you need to begin to develop language skills, you know? You following me? Some of you out there might be like, amen, Kenzie, we know. And some of y'all are like, the classroom is the only way I learn anything. Well, let me tell you, you gotta be keeping an open mind. And the reason I say this and I know this is because I've seen it. I have dozens of friends that have taken Spanish in high school, and I have yet to take a Spanish class. And I can speak way better Spanish than them. I understand a lot more. My Spanish is just all around better, even though it's not even that great. But they took 2-3 years, I don't know, of Spanish, and it's still not that great. And that's because they've only learned it in a classroom. And so yeah, that's my example, that's my experience. So yeah, I'm not saying you can't learn anything in a classroom, but I'm saying you definitely have to step outside of that and put in your own time, do your own stuff, instead of just solely learning in a classroom. Got that? Number 2 is something really simple that honestly, it should always be a part of it. Language learning, and that is enjoy the language. Enjoy the journey, enjoy learning. And you know why this is so important? Did you know that negative emotions can actually affect your ability to remember things and learn? And so if you're all disappointed or stressed or sad about having to learn something, you're not gonna remember it, you're not gonna learn it really. And so that is why if you just take a positive attitude to learning a language, you're gonna get so much more out of it, and you're gonna enjoy it just 100 times more, and it's gonna be amazing. So yes, you definitely need to do that. That's 100%. As long as you're doing that, you gotta be doing something right. Tip number 3 is a little something you can do to help you just study and learn, and that is watch YouTube videos with subtitles. So whatever language you're wanting to learn, just find a fun channel in that language about something that you enjoy, remember enjoy it, and then put on the subtitles in that language. So hopefully you can find something like that. And you know what? You may not understand all of it, but I guarantee you, seeing the pictures and stuff, you're gonna understand somewhat. And reading the subtitles, it might be a little overwhelming. Try to find a good channel that's not too advanced vocabulary or whatever for you, but just kind of persevere, just enjoy it, just keep looking for stuff, and that way when you hear it and you see I feel that helps you so much. Your brain can just start connecting all the stuff you know and combining it. And honestly, when we learn another language, one of the problems we have is they speak so fast. Well, that will help training your ear and stuff for faster speaking. So yes, definitely utilize the YouTube videos. Like the one you're watching right now. Oh, tip number 3, it's a bit of a dying art, and I feel so many people abandon it and forget about it these days. But it is write. You just need to write some of your language. Some people keep language notebooks. I have my lovely, beloved language binder. Love it so much. Yes, but I think one of the most important things for me is for one, you remember things much better after you write them. But 2, when I learn a language, I'm typing. And you know what I do? I rely on autocorrect a lot. And that's great. It helps you like begin to speak that language. But it means that I don't know how to spell words properly sometimes. And so when I write, it kind of comes from my brain and stuff, and it's just amazing. So I have a lot of different like writing exercises I do. So yeah, in a later video, I think I'll share those with you, but you can kind of come up with your own, but just write something. Even just like copy something down in the language you're learning, and that'll be a great start. Okay, just don't abandon writing. You need it. We have tip number 4, and that is produce. That is like the fancy term for it. It's basically like speaking or like writing sentences that you created, like you thought of, like your brain is responsible for this. And this is so important because like that's everyday life. So yes, you just can't forget producing. And you can't be afraid of making mistakes. We're all like, I'm not ready to speak the language yet, or I don't know what to write, or but you know what? Don't be afraid of making mistakes because mistakes are essential to learning. Personally, I love when I make mistakes because I learn how to correct them. And I become better. Mistakes are wonderful, They teach you what you need to learn. And honestly, you're also afraid of like, oh, my accent, like I don't know how to speak. I'm gonna sound funny. Well, you know what? There's a little thing that's in common with language learning and YouTubing, and that is you can't be afraid to make a fool out of yourself. So, you know what? You can do it. It's not a big deal. People are so supportive. They're gonna help you. And if you sound funny, just laugh at yourself. Enjoy the process. I kind of lost count of tips, but the next tip I have for you is have confidence. I know that's kind of what I just said, but like more than just speaking. For me, it was reading. I used to like when I saw a whole paragraph in another language, I automatically, oh, I don't know what that says. Now, if it had just been one sentence, I could be like, oh, I can read that. But then eventually, I'm like, you know what? I can do this. So I read like this whole big long paragraph of Spanish. And there's only like 5 words or something, or maybe even just one that I don't understand. Like my brain, it just fills it in and I understand and it's amazing. But you know what? I had to have the confidence that I could read that first. And maybe there are just 5 words. You look those up after you read that and then you learn them. And then you can like completely understand that big long paragraph because you know what? You're awesome. Your brain can do it. Have confidence. Don't be afraid. Push yourself. Yeah, we can do it. It's very important to learning a language. The next tip is have a motive. Motives are very important. Why are you learning this language? And if you have a good answer to that question, then keep going. You can do this. You just gotta push yourself. But y'all, when you're learning a language for no reason, you're not gonna be motivated. You're not gonna learn it, okay? So, and I know some people that are not very self-motivated. They get distracted, they quit easily. I personally am not one of those people. I'm very self-motivated. But if you are, then you need to find friends to help hold you accountable. You need to find that motivation in your heart. And yeah, just keep yourself motivated, keep pushing yourself to be an amazing language learner, speak, bam. This is fact number 8. So this, y'all, everybody can do this in this day and age, and it's gonna change your life. And that is incorporate that language into your everyday life. Sounds crazy, sounds impossible. With technology these days and stuff, you know what? You can turn your phone to whatever language you want. You can, I don't know, throw a party? I don't know. Okay, I'm going a little off track. But the point is, you can like find, those videos to watch. You can immerse yourself. You can listen to music in that language. You can read. You can do all sorts of things. So for me personally, I have like multiple things every day that even if I don't practice Spanish, I'm immersed in Spanish. And that is my phone is in Spanish. I read my Bible in Spanish every day. I listen to Spanish music. And I talk to my friends in Spanish. Okay, that's 4 things. I was not even actively learning Spanish, and I got immersed into it all those ways. And sometimes I even read books in Spanish. So yes, you can do it. You can immerse yourself in that language, and it's going to change your life. Because you're like, oh, I remember hearing that word the other day. I didn't know what it meant, but I've heard it. I know that. You know? It's amazing. It's amazing. Tip number 9 is really cool, and that is think in your target language. To some of you, that might sound impossible, but y'all, it is so possible. You just have to put your mind to it. So, a long time ago, well, not that long ago, but when my Spanish wasn't as good, I had this friend that was like really good at Spanish. I'm like, give me a tip. Like, what should I do to improve my Spanish? And they told me, you need to talk to yourself in Spanish. And I was like, what? But I started having conversations with myself in Spanish. Just eventually, over time, that and, all the other things, like immersing myself, I, began to think in Spanish. And y'all, it changes. It makes Spanish so much easier if you can think in it. And even if it's just, learning little expressions, but just, absorbing it, But just try, okay? It's kind of hard to explain how, but just, instead of trying to translate every little thing, if you know what it means, you don't need to translate. So think. Get to fact number 10. If you've made it this far, I am so proud of you, okay? So this is something I personally learned and I think is important. Other people may not struggle with it, but for me, I learned I need to be humble. I learned a little bit, and then I thought I was fluent or whatever. Not actually, but I think I get a big head. I get excited. I think I know everything when I still have a lot to learn. And I used to know a little bit of every language, and people oh, Mackenzie, yeah, she knows every language and stuff. But then I go to Mexico or the real world, and I see people, and I don't know how to talk to them. My languages weren't that good, and I learned, you know what? It's better to underrate your skill than overrate it, okay? So just be humble. Don't make the same mistakes I did. Okay? You can do it. Last but not least, fact number 11. And y'all, since I am not an expert, I thought I'd include this little tip in there. Ask your expert friend what their tips are, Honestly, always be asking your friends, how do you study a language? But if there's that, really smart person that knows a lot of languages, or they're really good, or they've learned a language fluently, or whatever, just ask them how they did it, what they would recommend. And y'all, if that friend is me, I'd love to give you more tips. Or you can just watch more of my videos. Yeah! But always ask for help. Thanks for just hanging out with me today. Make sure that little subscribe button's pushed if you learned anything at all from this, and you can hit that like button. And you know what? I love seeing your beautiful faces. So please, click right here, and then I can see you more. Okay, bye.